Welcome to BigGunner81 Live, everyone. I want to thank our sponsors, Applied Arsenal Finishes and Gunworks at AFGW and BAT Arms. Eggleston Munitions, you can check them out at egglestonmunitions.com. The Range at 355. And Tier 1 Training Corp, which we got Toby in the house tonight with us as well. So, my camera went off for some reason. There we go. Welcome, everyone, again to BigGunner81 Live. Tonight we've got a pretty cool, interesting guest with us. We've got Anthony Cruz from The Shooter's Mindset.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you for being on. And, of course, we've got Ryan Wiggins in the house, our in-house gunsmith and match director.
How's it going, guys? And, by the way, we are actually broadcasting on YouTube this time.
Awesome. So we didn't get Googled. And, of course, we got Toby here, as I said, from Tier 1 Training Corp. How's it going, Toby? He is quiet. Now he just dropped out with his video, so I don't know what happened to him. There he is again. Can you hear us, Toby?
You gotta love the problems that they happen at the best times, don't they?
Yeah, I guess he'll be logging back in a minute.
It's all good. We'll work through it.
Oh, he lost his audio. He left us a note in the internal here. So, hopefully he'll be back with us in a minute as well. So, Anthony, want to find out a little bit about your background and kind of talk to you a little bit about. Oh, here's Toby. Can you hear us now, Toby? Toby? He has no audio, I guess. Okay, so Anthony, tell us a little bit about how you got started into shooting, for one.
Shooting, I've probably been shooting about for 5 years now. A buddy of mine, he has the YouTube channel that was very popular. He kind of slowed down a little bit. Making Masterclass, Steve Durant got me in. Told me to buy a Glock 34, and that very gun is the gun that I still use today. Big fan of the Glock pistol. So about 5 years ago, started an IDPA, kind of still is my main focus, IDPA, do some USPSA, and dabble in some 3-gun right now.
Okay. So what kind of, just out of curiosity, 3-gun, that's something I've been getting into more and more myself. What kind of matches have you been shooting? Just like club matches or any major matches?
There's club matches on 3-gun stuff. There's a good match over in Altair Gun Club over here that Todd Lewis puts on. It's in the property is on an old abandoned jail, so they still have all the features, you know, the prison yard, everything, you know. So it's a really good match with a lot of acres to shoot on. So it's a premier club match.
And you're down in Florida, right?
Yeah, South Florida area.
Okay, very cool. So tell me, how long ago did you start the Shooter's Mindset too?
I think it was in 2013. I would have to go back to the first episode, but my guess is about June, July of 2013. So how that all kind of kicked off.
That's what
I would do this show like with you guys, right? We would just have regular gun guys just go in a regular chat and just talk, just kind of shoot the shit about guns. And at the time, I don't even think you were able to go live on Google Plus and broadcast to YouTube.
Right.
So we would do that almost like every other night. And then I think the Tac Daddy show, he kicked off a great show. I was on that a couple times. And I'm like, well, I know some kind of high-profile shooters. I can kind of focus it as a competitive show. And I just kind of took off. So it was a hobby. And it still is a hobby, and it kind of grew into something a little bit bigger.
Very cool. So I have a question that came in just now from someone, from Eric Leipold, I think. He says, how much do you love tool ammo? Or he wants to know how much you love tool ammo.
Okay, so Eric Leipold, yeah, he's a buddy of mine, and the backstory, it's kind of an inside joke that me and him only kind of know what the story about. So we shot a first IDPA match, I think. Well, it wasn't our first, but it was a major IDPA match in Central Florida. I think it was called the Citrus Challenge. We were in the same division, both kind of new shooters, and he had a couple malfunctions, and we were like, oh, we're shooting that Tula stuff. And I was like, dude, I definitely beat him. You know, there's no way he beat me with this Tula ammo. And in the end, the results came out, and he beat me with Tula ammo, even with the jams. So he was first, I was second. So that's the backstory on the Tula ammo, that he beat me with garbage ammo, in my opinion. So,
Nice.
yeah.
I actually ran Tula at my last match. I'm not a huge fan of myself for the steel case part of it and steel bimetal jacketing and all that, but that's a whole other story.
Hey, it works great in Western block guns, or Eastern block guns.
Say that again.
It works great in AKs.
Oh, it's full ammo. Yeah. I mean, I really shouldn't say anything against it. I'm just saying, like, you know, it's a lower cost ammo, pretty much. But
well, and ARs aren't designed for it, man. I mean, like 8 out of 10 stuck casings I get in the shop are steel case and AR-15s.
oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Interesting. I've only had that happen once it was with a brass case, but it was the barrel itself was a little bit of a tight rough chamber or whatever, or rough chamber, I guess the way they described it.
We had a department we were with once had some issue with running steel case in their full autos. That was a bad decision.
You know, when I was down in, well, when we were down in, I should say Toby and Ryan both, in Florida there at Frostproof at the Three Gun Nation Southern Regional, Tresna Defense was running steel cased in their full auto 9mm carbines. They're those things, and it was running them okay. I mean, seemed to. I think there's like, take that back. There was like 1 or 2 jams, but the magazine probably was the issue there.
Or 6, or 7.
Yeah, you just have an issue with one of those magazines. You know, if the gun's designed with a little bit wider tolerances if it's designed to support that kind of ammunition, it'll work. The problem with the steel cased ammo is the Russians, they actually they know that steel case sucks, so they put a finish on it. They put like a lacquer coating on it to try to smooth it out. But unfortunately, that stuff can build up in your chamber and cause stuck casing, especially something like a 223 that's chambered nice and tight for accuracy. AKs will eat that stuff all day long.
Isn't some of that also like a polymer coating though? I thought not just the lacquer. There's like 2 types.
I don't know what they put on it. I know it's clear. It's got a kind of weird link to it, and it builds up. When it gets hot, it's bad.
Okay. Right on.
But, you know, like POF rifles, you guys have heard of POF rifles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
They test their guns on steel case ammo because they say that if it'll run steel case ammo, it'll run anything. So.
Right on.
And that actually, what he thought was magazine problems actually could have been that steel case ammunition, because the same retardation of the slide that he thought was coming from the magazine could have been from that steel case ammo.
True. Slows down the extraction process.
Gotcha. Nice.
Why is Rick laughing?
I'm just smiling because we got all the way off on this whole tangent on ammo. So to get back on track, I was going to talk with Anthony here too. Now, I noticed, Anthony, that you've got something that I also have here, the F1 rifle that you built.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
If you guys care to see it, I just built this yesterday, so there's no optics on it. It hasn't been fired yet, but
Love it.
yeah, it's definitely, you know, a good-looking piece, and it's very functional. I think a lot of people, I've shot an F1 rifle. I just haven't shot this one before, and I've seen some videos out there. I think the internets, you know, as soon as you post that, they're like, man, that's going to jam right away. That's their initial thought, you know, and nothing like that with all those holes, it's going to work reliable.
You're going to get gas in your face from the vents on the upper and all that. That's everything I'm always hearing.
Yeah, so I mean, there's already a video of a guy like in the Las Vegas desert, like, I mean, with the bolt locked open, just pouring, like, he submerged it in desert sand, picked it up, closed the bolt, and shot it.
And it worked?
And it worked.
Well, that's almost like when our friends from MGS Firearms went and checked out. Toby's laughing.
I'm laughing at Ryan's. That is the gunsmith reaction to people saying shit like they're dumping sand in their guns. He's rubbing the side of his head like he's about to have a coronary.
Or anyone that's been on deployment in the Middle East once at least knows that 1 grain of sand can ruin your day.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
The thing is, if you take this, right, I got a low mass bulk carrier group in there, so it's also cut out. But if you really take sand and pour it in there, it's going to fall out to the other side. I mean, there'll be some left in there, but I think like 95% of it's just going to fall out of the other side of this thing. So I mean,
it's vented.
These things aren't designed to kick in doors. You know what I mean? This isn't a go to work, guys. I think some guys need to separate the difference right there off
that's
bat.
The only thing I addressed that thing when that whole statement about it, with the jamming and stuff, by the fact that yes, it's my game rifle for doing 3-gun, and I have a different rifle for doing other things. So that's how I address it basically too.
Well, And you're playing a game.
Yeah.
About like water, I mean, the way I look at it, I may or may not have a tendency to swim with my rifles at any given time, but the way I look at it is if you're coming out of the water with that thing, I mean, the water is just going to drain out of the receiver faster.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
but there's always going to be naysayers, especially when you come out with something so, I don't know, what's the word, innovative or something, so different.
Yeah.
Controversial.
Yeah, controversial is a better term, because I was having that discussion with somebody, another person that's a manufacturer, and they said, well, it's not really innovative, because all those little ideas we did before, it's just they're putting them all together, and like their execution, basically, and for lack of a better way of saying it, is a really great, successful way of doing it, I guess. I think their tolerances are really tight, and I like that they have all those little features that are beneficial, like the adjustment for the taking up the play between the upper and lower, and the fact they use screws instead of pins for like the bolt release, and things like that. That's just nice features, because just like Ryan, you had that one you posted today. A friend helped him put together his AR. What, did he break off the chisel or the punch trying to drive the roll pin or something?
Yeah, he broke off a punch inside of the roll pin on that, what was that, the slide catch. That was crazy.
Yeah,
they destroyed that receiver. The gun had never even been fired. They destroyed it trying to put it together.
Wait, you threw away the receiver?
No, but they trashed it. I mean,
Oh.
We used like a gallon of Aluma Black on the damn thing to make it look good, and we were done with it.
Oh. Wow. So, yeah, the other thing I wanted to mention too is, besides the fact on gear and stuff, something I want to throw out there while it's on my mind, and I got it right here. This is what Anthony kind of caught a picture of in that picture he posted on his page. So this, of course, my Glock 19, but the holster here, I don't know if you can see the logo. It's kind of hard when I'm moving around. It's blurry, but it's the Aries Tactical Kydex holster, inside the waistband holster. But the new thing that they're doing is they're using these Alti clips, I think they're called, or Alta clips. These, see from a side view, you can slip like your clothing, like your pants, like the rim of your pants, waistband, right into this clip, and then try to hold it straight so you can see it a little better. You kind of latch it down onto it, and it'll hold like 90 pounds is what this clip is like rated for, and you don't have to have a belt with it and stuff too. So it's kind of cool. He's adding that clip to it, as an option for his holsters and everything. So you can check him out at ariestactical.net, and the link will be in the description below the video, of course, for them too. But something I'll probably make a little video about it in the future, but just to kind of tell you guys about it now since we're here, something kind of new and something kind of cool. So,
where's that from again? Aries
Tactical. Yes. Same company that actually makes the same holster I use for my competition stuff. For my SIG 226, he's got a double. I wish I would have brought it down here, but I didn't. Basically, does a double layer Kydex where you can have like a different color for the liner, and like mine is blue on the inside and like carbon fiber on the outside and stuff with blade tech attachments on it. So, anyhow, I'll mention that when I do my video too, to show you guys the differences between the two holsters. But also, I do have a giveaway going on my Facebook page for some swag and stuff that I had from SHOT Show. I haven't. I keep forgetting to mention that it's out there. There's a few people have entered for it, but I think we're going to draw the winner probably next week. So check that out. Facebook.com/BigGunner81. Go there, check it out. It's at the top of the page. I pinned it there. You just gotta basically just follow the directions. Pretty simple. Just share it and like it and do all that stuff, and we'll draw somebody for a winner. So, what else do you got going on right now, Anthony? As far as any products, stuff like that.
What kind of swag are you giving away with that giveaway?
Swag. Just like patches and decals and a bag, stuff that I picked up at SHOT Show for people.
Okay.
Nothing super spectacular, but it's cool. Some people like patches and all that kind of stuff, so it's some swag.
You're not giving away your F1 rifle?
I'm sorry, an F1 rifle, is that what you said?
Yeah, man, you got to give away a rifle eventually.
God, I'd love to. I just don't have the kind of funds to make that happen.
I know, I hear you. I wouldn't do it neither.
Like my friends, speaking of that, which they couldn't be on tonight, Jake and Patrick from MGS Firearms. I'm sorry, Patrick from One Shot Kill It Media and Jake from MGS Firearms teamed up, and they have a 3-gun rifle they're giving away. I think you can find the information at Facebook.com/One Shot Kill It Media. They're doing like a drive for like 10,000 subscribers, which is pretty admirable to go after. From, they're right now I think somewhere around 1,000. and they're working hard to get to 10,000. So giving away a rifle, it's I think worth over like $2,000. All you gotta do is like and share and do all the basic stuff that most of the giveaways do. So check them out. You can also see it at probably MGS Firearms on Facebook as well. Just do a search for it, you'll find it. So what as I was saying, you have a new SIG MPX you're kind of testing out.
Yeah, the SIG is in for testing. The MPX, this is the carbine. They have the pistol version out too. I was really interested in this rifle because I wanted to pick up a pistol caliber carbine in 3-gun and USPSA. So it's a division now in USPSA. So I was interested in the SIG. Picked one up for testing through Fort Mill Munitions, who sponsored me for ammunition. They have them available, so if you want one in your gun shop, these kind of been hard to find. I think they're starting to come in now. They've been out for a while. They're just very, very hard to find in gun stores. But they also have a specific load for these carbines. So it's a 95 grain 9mm load, and they said they're reaching out to 100, no problems. You know,
what kind of velocity are they seeing on that? Do you know?
I can get the information for you, but I don't know. Like this round, like they just came out with it. They just finished it up and testing like this week, so I don't even have any yet to play with. So, you know, so it's. But they're going to be like the first company to have a specific load in 9mm for the carbines for the long range stuff that you might see in the 3-gun stuff. And
that makes sense. I was going to say like 95 grain. They're probably. I'm guessing this. Maybe they're going lighter so they can increase the velocity a little bit.
Exactly.
So a little further.
Yeah, that makes the most sense because if I use the 147 grainers that I shoot in my Glock, I mean, people say like when that shoot me local, when it hits the paper, it just like go through the paper and go down. So they're very light, and in something like this, it probably won't reach out very well. You know, past 50 yards, it'll probably start severe drop because there's not a lot of powder in those cases. You know, they're minor power factor.
Right.
So you're shooting 95 grain 9mm out of that rifle?
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
That's what they tested it at 95, and they got some 124s that they're offering too for it.
Do you know what the muzzle velocity is on those 95 grainers?
That's what I just asked him. He does not.
I'll send a text out and I'll have it for you in like 5 minutes.
There you go.
I googled it. Sorry, I missed the question. I had my door just opened for some reason, which usually means that someone opened a door on the other side of the house. So I went in the bedroom real quick and grabbed my 19. My bad.
So you got your 19, I got my 19. We're all probably got our 19s here or whatever.
I live about half a mile from some really goofy people, so.
I'm not going to ask what that means. So, speaking of testing out stuff too and trying out different things, one of the things I was going to mention also was, I don't know how many of you have seen this, the Rock Island Armory has a 22 TCM, which is like kind of one of those wildcat loads, I guess, you can say, and just one of those odd things, but it's supposed to be like a 22 that'll do 2,000 feet per second. So I've heard they're kind of competing with what, the FN57 pistol. Is that right, Ryan?
Dude, I got a story about one of those, but I just looked up the 95 grainer 9mm. It looks like they're cooking those things out at about 1,500 feet per second, which is almost twice the speed of mine. That's pretty cool.
Nice. So let me tell you this though too. So what I'm doing is, we'll be doing a little bit of testing evaluation on one of their 1911s, the 22 TCMs, very soon here. Probably the next, I don't know how many weeks it'll be before I get it, but once I get it, I'll be working on doing a video for it. I'm kind of curious how it is because it's kind of an interesting thing. It's just, I don't know what the practical purpose will be exactly. I'm not sure. That's what I'll probably kind of figure out and just kind of play with it to learn a little bit more about it.
Gophers.
What's that?
Gophers.
Gophers? Yeah.
Prairie dogs.
That's cool. I was thinking it's kind of neat just to have that kind of velocity in a 22 caliber. Plus, it's neat that you can also switch back to a 9mm with just a barrel changer as well. So you kind of get two options there.
Yeah, right on. Those things are fireballs leaving the chamber too.
Really? I'm excited to check that out.
Where's all that feedback coming from?
I think it's coming from Toby's end, by the way. There's some talking there.
Mute him. Mute now.
Where's my mute button? Probably just...
Here.
There, he's muted.
Yo, so I just got one of those in the shop, man.
I'm sorry,
I just got one of those in the shop that I was having to troubleshoot, and you know, I really like what they've been doing over there at Rock Island, so I don't want to like talk shit, but
right.
I just got one of these in, and it will absolutely not chamber a 9mm, and we're looking at it, and I mean, you put the magazine in and you drop the slide forward, and the bullet just deadheads right into the feed, not the feed ramp, but the bottom of the barrel. And I was like, you know, I can fix this, but I think that because it's a brand new gun, you should really send it back to Rock Island. And I was kind of disappointed because I really wanted to shoot the damn thing with 9mm through it. And it
so
just,
you put the 9mm barrel in it, and then you had this problem with it?
Yeah, and we even ordered a new. I looked on some reviews online, and some guys were having trouble with it, and they said that buying a Para Ordnance P18 magazine, a couple guys said that got rid of their issues. And so we got a Para Ordnance P18 magazine, and it is still doing the same thing. But it, you know, it might be a bad egg. I really like what Rock Island's been doing in the past couple years. They've really started to do a way better job with their pistols, and you can feel just by grabbing it and racking the slide.
Right. I have actually shot the 9mm. I have shot their 9mm before, their 1911. A friend of mine had one, and I didn't think it was that bad. I kind of liked it. So I'm kind of anxious to see.
This was one of those. It was like in a box with the 22 TCM barrel and the 9mm barrel, and you're just supposed to be able to change it out and let it rip. But that wasn't the case. And that's what I'm going to test out too, just to see how it works in the 9mm as well, in both versions. I'm very excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. But it probably won't be here for, I think they're estimating I won't have it till at least 3 weeks from now. At least my FFL, Barry from BAT Arms, will be handling the transfer course. It probably won't be to him till at least 3 weeks from now. So it'll be a while, but I'm excited about it. So I figured I'd mention it, kind of get that out there. Yeah, that'll be fun. I hope it works for you. I mean, the one I was playing with, it had a great fit. It had a really nice trigger job from the factory. It was like 4 pounds and crisp. I was impressed, and then it didn't work. Yes. So yeah, when it comes in, we're gonna be. I'm probably gonna take Laura with me to the range, and we're probably gonna test it out, and also have Pete give it a try too, and get his reaction on it, and do a little video with it too. So, by the way, he's been very busy. Yeah, where the hell is Pete? You know, that's exactly. He's been busy with his range like crazy. The question of the month. What's that? It's the question of the month. He's probably at the range right now. You're probably right, because it's just after, like, about right here it's 9:24, for example, and I think they're open till 9 o'clock, so he's probably there closing up. Who knows? But yeah, they've been doing a great business at the range of 385. I mean, they've had a lot of people in and out. It's always got a good steady flow, so I'm really happy with the success that we're seeing from the range, and it's exciting. And the best part was to be able to follow that from the beginning, before the place was even built. You know, you can go and check out. I got a video on that on the channel as well. So I got an update, and he pretty much hit it though. 95 grainers are 1,500 feet per second shooting out. 124s are 1,400 feet per second shooting out of that. So wow, that's awesome. Yeah, that's not bad. What's the barrel length? Is it 16? Yeah. Okay. So there it is on the 9mm loads from Fort Mill Munitions. So what matches and stuff you got coming up here? I got a match in Puerto Rico that I leave in 2 weeks for. It's called the Pan American. Wow. So how does that work? Like, as far as your guns and gear and stuff, what do you do? It's actually pretty streamlined. There's just one other thing you got to do. You got to apply for a firearms license that the local police signs off on. And you can travel to Puerto Rico with firearms, but you can't technically, legally shoot them without that license. So everybody that's shooting them. How do you travel back in the country? Like, isn't it like importing and exporting, or how does that work? No, just like regular old. You're flying on an airplane, JetBlue, and you know it's the same thing. It's gonna be like the guys that travel to Mexico and New Zealand to go hunt big game.
I have no idea how that works, so that's why I'm asking. That's an interesting thing. Like,
Puerto Rico, they kind of run very similar to United States. So obviously they're a territory. So it's not like going to Mexico. That's a whole nother, that's a whole another ball game. So it's very easy to get over there. It's just you need they pretty much it's like a CCW. It's like a little license with your little photo on it, and it just says firearms license. So you don't get into no shit over there.
Cool.
Speaking of shooting out of the country real quick, I'm not going to lie, the past couple weeks I've been talking about wanting to go shoot a NIPSC match in Russia.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, it would be cool.
Nice.
So we should try to make that a goal for the next couple of years. Because if you look at these ranges, if you look them up on YouTube...
Stuff? What's this Wii stuff?
Dude, you're in. We're going to go drink some vodka and shoot some guns.
I'm actually applying for my passport very shortly here. I might go to Canada.
You need a passport to go to... I don't think you need a passport to go anywhere in North America, man.
I'm not sure how that works, but I think I'm going to get a passport, not just for that, but for other reasons.
You should have one anyway, dude.
Yeah, true. I go to Mexico without a passport. I give them my driver's license and a copy of my federal firearms license, and they let me through.
Hey, Toby, I know you got a lot of noise going on in the background, so I know you said you're going to take off because the loud background and stuff, and it's kind of hard for you to talk right now. So thank you for stopping in with us at least. So peace out, man.
Hope you got a party going on.
Yes, a shirt around with ISIS on. That's
awesome.
Is that a 9-line apparel shirt, or who makes that one? Can't see it. Yep, 9-line apparel. Right on. They're good guys. They actually did sponsor one of our matches for 3-Gun as well. So
nice.
But, yeah, cool. Thanks, Toby. We'll talk to you. We're gonna be down in Alabama in like another
week.
Yeah, like another week basically. Like a week and a couple days, and we're driving out. Me and Toby and our teammate Hayden to head out to the southern regional. I'm sorry, southern regional for 3-Gun Nation. Hopefully this time I don't DQ.
You're not going to DQ, dude.
Brian's going to be looking over my shoulder, making sure I don't preload my shotgun.
I'm going to be on you like a hawk, bro.
Yes. I make stupid mistakes sometimes, apparently. So, but it was a fun time, and I'm glad I went. That was, that was my first major match to get to go to, and only my second one out of state. So it was still very cool to see how things work and get to hang out with everybody, So
see how the 3-Gun Nation team runs things. Yes,
and those guys, I had my hats off to them. They do a great job what they do, and really nice people, And even when I had my DQ, all the guys that are ROing, they all felt bad, and I told them, I said, no, it's okay, it's my fault, made a mistake, and it was handled very well on everybody's part that was involved with that, and so I did enjoy my time down there, regardless of not getting to shoot and stuff, and it was fun. But I'm looking forward to this time actually getting to shoot and doing all that good stuff. So we'll see how it all goes.
Hey, get ready to shoot 500.
What's that?
I said be ready to shoot 500. I think they're going to be pushing us out 450, 500 yards.
Holy crap! Yeah, we'll give it a go.
Get that scope tuned in.
Yes, I got it. I actually went out this weekend and shot practical rifle, and I wanted because I zeroed my rifle in, took it down to Florida, checked the zero there, didn't get to shoot the match, came home with it. I didn't get any time to actually spend shooting my rifle, so I went to a practical rifle match this past weekend, which I don't know if the scores were not posted just yet, so I don't know how I really placed. Hopefully not last, but it was fun nonetheless. But yeah, I ran my F1 firearms rifle here. Well, I call it an F1 firearms rifle because it's an upper and lower receiver, but the rest of the parts are all Frank and AR, I guess you could say, I'll put piece together. Because it's like, that's a good point. What do you call, Ryan and Anthony, what are your opinions? What do you call it when you have a rifle that you build on a receiver set? Do you refer to it by the company that the receiver came from, or what do you call it?
I'm calling it the same thing you're calling it, the F1 rifle, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I kind of figured. Well, it is.
If you want to go by the textbook, I mean, you can have whatever you want on a rifle, but when I log your rifle into the shop, it gets logged in by whatever's on the receiver. HEF
Yeah.
declares, I mean, they say the receiver is the gun. So if you're running an F1 lower receiver or a Palmetto lower receiver or a KE Arms lower receiver, your gun's, it is what it is, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the way I look at it. I mean, if I had my way, I'd just call them all Redbeard rifles, but
that would be awesome. You need to make your own receiver sets that are called that.
can't talk about that.
Shh. Okay, won't talk about that or anything else that we've heard recently, which I'm so excited about.
Yeah, this is the shooter's mindset rifle. So it's on a Terran Tactical Innovations lower, but
so
it has
what makes it the
shooter's
shooter mindset rifle?
Because it has the shooter's mindset logo in it.
There you go.
Nice. I
There
don't
you
have
go.
a logo.
You
I'm
should get
jealous. I want a logo now. So
one. Yeah.
who did the logo on it? Like it's engraved, correct?
It's lasered.
Okay. So
So
who did
they-
you have to do that?
Terran Tactical Innovations did it.
Nice. So when
So-
they did they actually build the whole rifle too, or
Yeah, well, I have a whole rifle from them. I just didn't pull that one out, but this one's I guess a Franken rifle, if you want to call it. It's just on a Terran Tactical Innovations lower. I sent them the vector file of my logo, and they said they can put it on for me. So I got 2 of them, and so they're they're consecutive serial numbers.
nice?
So
I'm actually picking up a couple consecutive serial numbers. Well, actually, I'm picking up one, and the girlfriend's buying one. We're doing a his and hers type build, I think, here pretty soon.
nice. That's
So-
good stuff.
That is a lot of fun. We're
That's
using
good that she's into it. She's into it enough to want a rifle, or is it you just egging her on for a rifle?
both.
What's the story?
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
And she might be watching. She was watching earlier because she sent me a message. But she's interested, and she's just starting to get into firearms and everything. And I was telling her, hey, we could build one. She's like, oh, that's awesome. Let's do it. So it's kind of both. She's excited about it. I'm really excited about it. So we'll just see how it goes, you know.
Yeah, I tried to pull in that one for Valentine's Day, trying to get her a SIG 320. I'm like, Valentine's Day present, you don't have one, but I really wanted a 320 myself.
Yeah, this is different because in the sense that we're doing 2 of them, so there isn't me trying to secretly sneak that in to get it for my use too.
Yeah, fair
But
enough.
yeah, I'm excited about that. It's gonna be fun. I mean, we're still trying to figure out all the parts for it. Some of the things we're looking at is lightweight. So what I'm kind of considering is we're going with the Aero Precision receivers because Barry from BAT Arms actually stocks them, and he had 2 consecutive serial numbers, and it's from a manufacturer that I don't have yet because I'm doing something that's called I'm kind of tentatively calling it the 50 State AR Project. Trying to find a receiver set from each of the 50 states, or as close to that number as possible. Some states may not have one that it's a manufacturer, or one that has the engraving for the state, I guess you'd say. So I've got like 7 different ones right now, and this would be number 8 out of Washington, which would be kind of cool. So for me, I get that part out of it, and then I want to try to build like a lighter setup for her. So what we're thinking is maybe going with like a 16-inch pencil barrel possibly, and these are just ideas right now. And I'm looking at options for handguards with her and stuff, but one of the things we're thinking about running is I've got this lightweight, and I'm also looking at budget too. That's the other thing to kind of balance in it, of course, because money is a thing too. This handguard that I have on here, this is a GunTech USA handguard. I had some people questioning if it was made in the U.S. or not, but according to them, that some of their stuff is not, but this handguard was listed as being made in the U.S. They have a version of this lightweight handguard that is called like the Airlight version, I think, and instead of having all the key mods, they have like some of the key mods I think in the front, and then they do like this triangle cutout that makes it even more skeletonized on most of the length of this handguard. So I'm looking at that because it comes in somewhere around $100, maybe give or take, maybe a little bit more than $100 for that handguard as an option, just to cut the weight down on the front end, because that's always the part that's real heavy, because all the weight, like the barrel and everything's up there. So looking at that, kicking around ideas for what we're going to use for a compensator on the front, or muzzle device, we're going to call it. and also what stock. It's going to have to be an adjustable stock. That's a given. Trying to figure out what grip to run with too for her. But just some ideas we're kind of looking at, kind of something fun to do. Right now, we're going to start with just building the lower and go from there with it.
14.5 pin and welded build is.
And I had that discussion with Tim from TACCOM, and he was telling me, he's like, don't go with the 14.5 because it's going to weigh in more than, say, like running like a Faxon pencil barrel, for example, a 16-inch one. But by the time you add the weight of the muzzle device or the compensator, whatever you want to call it, and weld it, that's what his opinion was. So I don't know.
Tim does that stuff, so I'd take it.
That's what I kind of thought, because he's an engineer, and I'm like, I trust his judgment when he's building the stuff. But I had the same thought as you, Anthony, is that 14.5 and do a pin and weld, because I'm thinking, yeah, barrel's shorter, that barrel's real heavy, maybe there's a real light, muzzle device that's a little bit longer, just to figure out what we can work out. But he says, nope, that's the best way to go if you want to cut the weight down on it. So Toby had to check out here a little bit earlier because he had a lot of noise in the background, so he couldn't really talk much. But he has some classes he wanted me to mention too for him for Tier 1 training. And I'm going to pull this up here. He's got, for his schedule, right now, April 23rd, 2016, at 9 a.m., basic handgun course. He's got April 24th, 9 a.m., fighting fundamentals handgun. And then he's got the basic handgun class again on June 5th. And on June 11th, he has the fighting fundamentals handgun class again. They also offer Illinois 16-hour concealed carry classes, which you can email them for more information. Just contact them on their website at Tier 1 Training, which is TYR1training.com. And you can find out more information there about the class schedule and things like that. And any questions you want to ask, you can contact them through there. But he wanted me to get that out there for him too, since he couldn't really talk very much tonight because of the whole loud issue in the background there with his noise level. But
I still see him in here.
He's not in here anymore. I can tell you on my end I don't see him. So it must be your tablet. But
Okay.
So I don't know if I asked this question or not. I was going to ask you this too, Anthony. What have you done? I mean, I don't know all your shooting history. So, like, I assume you've done some type of major matches already of some caliber of, like, whether it's pistol competitions or something like that. What have you done as far as that goes, as far as any major matches?
Major matches, I'm shooting about anywhere between 7 and 10 a year.
Oh, wow. Okay. What was your first one?
I think my first one might have been that Citrus Challenge match that Eric Leopold beat me in. I got second out of that. That's the one that I can remember. I still got the bump, but he still beat me on that. So, but yeah, Citrus Challenge down in Orlando. They're having it this year again. I mean, I've traveled around. I'm fortunate enough to, with the sponsors, and most of it's coming out of my pocket. But,
Right.
To Indoor Nationals, which is at Smith & Wesson's facility up in Springfield, Massachusetts area.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, that's kind of more of a pain to travel to than Puerto Rico is because they have the whole magazine cap up 10 rounds and stuff like that. So it's kind of a real commie state. You got to purchase, you can't go into Walmart and purchase, a bunch of 9mm. It's just not there. It doesn't exist over there. It's kind of a weird deal. But it's always fun to shoot over there. You shoot at around that time that I goes. I think it's around February. So you're talking about like 18 degrees, and I'm in South Florida, so snow's kind of fun to see for a few hours. And it's at Smith, and there's a lot of the top dogs of pistol shooters are there. So you kind of get to judge yourself versus those guys at a match of a Tier 4 match like that. It's pretty quality.
Cool. So I was going to ask you too, Ryan. Besides your gunsmith issue this week with that bullpen deal, do you have any other interesting stories?
Well, that's nothing, but yeah, I mean, besides the fact that my computer just tried to update to Windows 10, even though I told it not to.
Oh, God. Don't do it.
So we have this kind of interesting community down here in Phoenix. A lot of people are calling it the Valley of the Gun because our nickname is the Valley of the Sun because we're a pretty big valley with a bunch of cities in it. Anyways, most of the gunsmiths in this town are friends. We drink beers with each other. We bounce work off of each other, stuff like that. So when a customer comes in to one shop and behaves like a jackass, we all call each other and we put them on a list.
Nice.
So I had to deal with that today. I had a guy that has been banned from other gunsmithing shops, and I decided to give him a chance. And I told him straight up, I was like, dude, look, I'm booked on labor for the next 4 weeks. I'm not going to be able to fix the magwell on your XD for weeks. Okay, no problem, it's fine, I understand, I'm not shooting anyways.
What was wrong with his magwell?
Yeah, it's a long story, but
was it like cracked, or we don't understand? Like, it's a polymer frame.
No,
right?
the guy's goofy. It's just he had me install this magwell, and he wanted me to make sure that I Loctited the screw, so I Loctited the screw, and then he tried to take it out for some reason and stripped the screw, and brought it back to me and was like, hey, I stripped the screw, and I'm like, well, crap, this is going to be a really difficult thing to drill out without screwing up the magwell and screwing up the polymer on this frame of the XD. Long story short, the guy came in and he was all pissed. It's been taking 3 weeks, and even after I told him it was going to be at least 4 weeks for me to see his pistol on my workbench. And now, I mean, all I had to do was make a couple of phone calls, and he's not going to find a gunsmith in the entire Valley of Phoenix that's going to work on his stuff.
Nice.
So
you didn't steal his bumper
for the viewers, if you drop your gun off at a gunsmith and they tell you it's going to be 3 to 6 weeks, which is about average right now in Phoenix. I mean, between the two shops I work for myself, I got about 400 guns I can work on right now at any given time. When they tell you it's going to be 6 weeks, just wait to start calling them until like week 7, because we have a couple gunsmiths here in town that when you call them, every time you call to check on the status of your gun, you get pushed back.
Wow.
I just got off the phone with a fellow gunsmith that's doing a dickhead fee now. So if a customer behaves, rudely, or they're not understanding what we're saying to them, just despite the plain text on the signs when you walk into the shop and it says repairs take 6 to 8 weeks, whatever. I got a guy that's packing on $30. So
that's pretty funny.
It's an interesting industry, man. I mean, you look at people like you and me and Anthony. If I wasn't a gunsmith, I mean, we do things ourselves. You guys build your own rifles. A lot of the guys in our tier of competition shooting or firearms enthusiasts, if you will, they do stuff themselves, especially on AR-15s and polymer guns. But I forgot where I was going with that. But
yeah, I mean that's a valid point, though. By the way, about the do-it-yourself type stuff. I mean, of course, you're going to run into sometimes where people get in over their head with that, obviously.
Right, and that's when you come see us, and we can fix it for you. But there's a small percentage of the clientele that walk in and they just think that.
We froze up here, Ryan. Hopefully we didn't lose him.
Right on, yeah, he's pretty froze. He's done.
Yeah, he's locked up.
Oh, no, there he is. He's coming back.
You back, Ryan?
Oh, I don't know. I freeze up.
You really blacked it out for a second there.
Windows, it keeps trying to do this Windows 10 thing. And Windows should understand that I bought this laptop in 2008 in the Middle East, and it's not ready for Windows 10.
Just tell it no.
Yeah, on your key point of your story is when you lagged out.
Oh, my bad. I don't even know what the key point was. Just don't hassle the gunsmiths. If they say it's going to take 6 weeks, give them 6 or 7 weeks before you start harassing them.
Yeah, that's fair.
And we were talking about the do-it-yourselfer stuff, and then if they mess stuff up, then come see you and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different clientele. I mean, the guys that do their own stuff and that buy these really high-end products, those aren't the guys that come see the gunsmiths.
It's the guys that don't have the knowledge and they don't always know what to buy, and they come in to see you.
And they want it done now.
Well, that's not just with gunsmithing, I'll be honest with you. I think that's just society today where people want instant gratification and things taken care of right away.
Well, we're trying to change this in the Phoenix area. And we're trying to make it very clear that all of us gunsmiths communicate with each other. I've been at one gun shop and told a guy it was going to be 6 to 8 weeks, and then went to the other gun shop to work and had the same guy call the other gun shop, and he just started rambling on. He's like, "Oh yeah, these jackasses over here, they said it's going to be 6 to 8 weeks. I know it's only a 15-minute job." And I was like, "Well, I'm that jackass, and we're all backed up this long." He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. It's fine, dude. Just bring me your gun. The sooner you get it in, the sooner I'll fix it."
See, and that sounds like you're being very nice and reasonable with him too.
I try to be honest, man. Like,
right. Ryan's not one to BS people. I can tell you that much. He's pretty much straightforward with it. So, yeah. Any other projects you got there in the works, Anthony? Do you want to talk about?
Thanks for letting me rant, by the way.
You're welcome. That's what we're here for.
Projects in the works. Like I said, I'm kind of looking forward to this Puerto Rico match. So I'm kind of just shooting a lot of indoor stuff right now. So I'm kind of doing some before match training and some dry fire stuff. I got those projects. I got the F1 rifle. I got the MPX that I'm gonna have reviews and some slight torture tests on the F. I'm not gonna. I mean, this is my personal rifle. I'm not gonna. They didn't give me one. Here, break shit. You know. And I'm gonna put some sand in it. I'm gonna put some water in it. I'm gonna do that type of stuff and see if it can run so I know, and we can shut up some of the trolls on the internet.
Right on. Well, I know there's been people testing him, like Demolition Ranch, for example. He threw his rifle in the water, and he's like, whatever, and he was kind of abusing it a little bit. But
yeah, that's another video that was out, on it.
Yeah. I actually ran into him in front of the F1 booth when I was down in there at SHOT Show, which I was hoping to meet up with you there, but there was so much going on, which we just lost your camera, by the way. There we go.
Yeah, I turned it off. I think someone wants me to grab something for them out of the room, so I was going to turn off the camera real quick. But no, I passed by the F1 booth like a lot, but they're always jam-slammed. So
yes, they were. Time. And you know what? In fact, we got Night Strike in the room tonight, too. He'll be here for 12 minutes. How's it going, Mike?
Hey, sorry about that. I got caught up because we're also, I'm talking to the guys, we're also going to start up a podcast about guns and gaming, video games. So I got caught up in a video game chat, so sorry about that.
Not a problem. Thanks for dropping by, though, for the last few minutes of the show. So tonight we got Anthony Cruz, as you know, from Shear's Mindset with us. And Anthony, by the way, Night Strike here, Mike, he does a podcast thing, too, called Hit or Miss, like right before my show comes on. So sometimes he can make it in and hang out with us, sometimes he can't.
The Hit or Miss podcast show? I'll check it out.
Yeah.
It's on gun channels.
He's just starting out. He does, mostly on gun channels. He posts it there. Like mine's on gun channels also, which hi those guys out there at gun channels that might be watching as well. I haven't been able to monitor everything on their channel, which So because they'll also have a chat on there as well. Gunchannels.com/BigGunner81 is my page on there for that. But you can also, for those watching, depending on where you're watching from, we do also have the live chat right here on YouTube as well. So there's two different places to kind of go and check out to talk about the show as we're live, and sometimes we can respond to your comments as well. So I see there's a couple in here too from a friend of mine, Thomas, who is posting about my DQ thing, and he mentioned about, don't DQ this time, because he was really looking forward to actually seeing some match footage from this match that we just missed, the Southern...
What stage was it on? How deep into the match did you get?
I did not. That's the thing. It was the very first stage. I didn't even get to shoot.
Ouch.
So it was pretty bad, but like I said, I made the best out of it. Took the lemons, made them a lemonade, learned from it, had fun, hung out with Toby and Hayden.
And Ryan.
And Ryan, sorry. Yes, Ryan.
Yeah.
I was getting what I was getting at, Ryan, was I was going to say Toby and Hayden, and I was going to say about the team, and then I was going to say and Ryan also, but I kind of jumbled it all up, so I'm sorry about that, Ryan. I wasn't trying to cut you out, of course.
I'm just kidding, man.
You know, you're one of my favorite people to hang out with too. So,
I
I'm
smell a
looking for-
conspiracy.
yeah. Which, by the way, so Ryan, this time around, we're going to be at the Match Hotel as well.
Yes.
So I don't know what it's like out there. I'm just going around. I'm going to go and find out. I think we got invited out by one of our friends as well. I don't know where to or whatnot, but I'll fill you in with details later on
Dude,
that.
Alabama's kind of weird
Is it? I've only been there like maybe once.
compared to Arizona.
Yeah.
It's a different.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Of
it's a
course.
different type of people, different type of scenery.
Yeah.
It's a good state for hunting, shooting, and fishing.
Oh yeah.
And bugs.
Well, yes. One thing I learned about the South is that because of the nice climate, for lack of a better way of saying it, nothing dies. And so my friend goes, everything's poisonous, everything bites, and nothing dies, as far as insects and animals and things go.
Which
Oh,
is
it-
funny because I'm from Arizona, and I know that Arizona has like the deadliest insects and snakes there.
We do.
Well,
You
it's
find,
kind of
like,
south, right?
So you
And-
got to be friends with them.
And there's also the Gila monsters.
So
Yeah,
what?
dude. Gila monsters are cool though.
Oh, I'm not
black
saying they're not cool, but
orange.
they're evil.
What the hell
No,
is
they're really docile. I mean, don't tell the feds it's a $16,000 fine, but I may or may not have held numerous Gila monsters in my past.
Okay, stop. Tell me, what is a Gila monster, Ryan?
The Gila monster is there's only one species of venomous lizard in the entire world,
Really?
and it's the Gila monster. There's a brown face that you can find in Mexico. They call it the Mexican beaded lizard, but it's exactly the same as the Gila monster. It's a really, really pretty orange and black lizard that we have out here in Arizona that contains venom glands like a snake. But you can't die from it. It's just a couple days of someone holding a blowtorch to your arm.
So is it from them licking or biting, or what causes the
No,
venom?
it's from the bite. They have venom they secrete into their gums, and when they bite you, they get into your skin.
So
Yep.
don't get bit by the Gila monster.
They're really cool. They're really stupid. When I used to clean pools, man, I used to see them all the time. They're
So
really
I gotta
fat
ask
and
you this
lazy.
quick question too, since I know we're off topic of guns, but it's whatever. I saw Carlos, your video of Carlos.
Yeah.
He is really cool. What kind of lizard is that?
He's a Molly Euromastix, dude. I've had him for 15 years.
How long do they live?
We don't know. They just started importing them in the late 80s.
Oh wow!
In the
He
wild,
looks like
they
he's
get
got
to-
some attitude. That lizard.
Yeah, he's kind of a dick. He
I was
doesn't
gonna
like
say that.
anyone except for me.
Really?
Yeah, he'll run away if you walk in the room.
Huh?
But
Interesting.
we got a lot of that stuff out here.
Yeah,
I'm
scorpions that you find in your shoes.
No, I've never had one in the shoes. I've been stung, I think, 4 times in my sleeping bag by a campfire. But it's less than a bee sting, and you only have to worry about it if you're allergic. And very, very low percentage of people are allergic to scorpions. So
Hey, I just
you
got
have
the
it-
results from our match from this weekend for Practical Rifle. So I didn't do that great, but I mean I didn't come in last. I came in at 27 out of 35.
that's good.
Well, it's good
So
for
the
I
cool
guess.
thing about that is
hardest-
next time you got something to work up.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, if you got like 3rd place, you'd be like, oh crap, I got to get 2nd place next time.
Well, here's the thing. Normally, when I've been doing Practical Rifle in the past, most of the time I would like on average I'd finish like in the top of the bottom third. That's about where I average at, right? And that's usually out of like a group of 60 people, because we normally run 2 flights in the morning and afternoon session, and this week was the last of the winter schedule, which is morning only. So there's only 35 shooters. So that might even change if I just was with more people. I don't know. But the hardest thing of that, and I've got the video up on YouTube as well. You can check out my match. Was the long distance stage. Two things screwed me. One, I wasn't used to my holdover yet with my scope being up close. There was a session where we were literally shooting targets that were like headshots from like 5 feet and maybe about 5-6 feet. And I was aiming towards like the center of the head really fast going through these things, and one shot would be in the center and one shot would be just barely into the no-shoot target that was right below it. So that cost me a lot of time and penalties and whatnot. But the worst part was the long-distance stage had two VTAC walls, the one that was kind of similar to a VTAC wall, and trying to shoot with my scope at like a 45 or like at a 90-degree angle and trying to guess what I was hitting at 200 yards was a bitch. I think I hit like two targets out of that. And, Thomas just sent me a message and said, no, that was my entry number. Maybe I made a mistake on my ranking here. Oh, I did. Not my place. Oh, okay, so I'm not sure where I ended up then, actually.
You got some overall results?
Yeah, the page he sent me was a PDF, so I'm not sure. No, now he says, wait, never mind. So maybe he's right. Because I'm looking at the list here. Nope, he made a mistake. It is that I'm 27th place. Because I'm looking at the total match scores, and it does go in ascending order. So, like, the fastest person, their score was like 330 seconds, and mine was like 552, and like the slowest scoring was like 12:23:69. But that person, I think, didn't do 2 of the stages or something too. So that didn't
dude,
count.
you're doing good. You haven't been shooting very long. You've only shot a couple matches, so
yeah, well,
keep it up.
practical, right? I mean, I guess you could. Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, I'm still learning and all this stuff, but I did do quite a few practical rifle matches. But I'm rusty, especially with this is a new rifle for me, and it's only the first time I shot a match with this scope. So I'm not really used to shooting with a scope yet either. But live and learn, It's something new all the time.
You got some things to work on now. So the holdover things.
Yes.
With the VTAC barricade. Now you know what to look for. So every match like that, you got to take something away from it. Take a few things away from it and work on it.
I'm not sure how to overcome the VTAC wall though with the scope. That's the thing. I know the holdover thing's easy enough. It's just aim a little higher when I'm doing that close up with the scope. But what do I do with the VTAC wall?
Yeah, that's why I will resort to Jesse Tischhauser on that one, or Tim.
Oh, ask them the question.
Yeah.
Say, what do you do when you're running a Vortex Strike Eagle and you're trying to shoot through a VTAC wall at 90
It'll be almost any scope similar to that. Don't need to be the Strike Eagle.
I know.
So it doesn't matter what you had on there, you were still going to run into the same problem. And there's got to be a solution for it because I'm sure people were running the same scope or different scope, but just kind of the same size, just a different brand, so they were able to do it.
I was able to hit a few of them just by kind of guessing about how far my holdover was off, but it's a 200-yard shot, and I'm trying to hold my scope at like a 90 almost, trying to barely see it and guess roughly where I'm at.
All right.
That's just really hard. But
sorry. Damn neighbor kid just got a new go-kart.
Hey, congrats to him, right? That's badass. So we'll go ahead and we'll wrap up everything. I don't know if you guys got anything else you want to throw out there. So Mike, you got anything you want to say about your show or anything since you're being quiet?
No, I just I was listening to the conversation.
Right on. Well, thanks for stopping in, even if briefly.
Yeah,
and,
sorry about that.
No sorries, man. Appreciate you coming in. And Ryan, I don't know if you got anything you want to throw out?
I just love how Duke Nukem's got his finger on the trigger as he's inserting his magazine.
I know.
By the way, and it's a 1911 with a scope and a laser on it.
Yes.
Yeah, you gotta change that up to something new, man.
I'm sorry, I can't.
I'm just kidding. Thanks for having me on. It's fun, as always.
Thanks for being here and helping out with the show, man. And I'm looking forward to, we got one more show, I think, before we go to I was going to say Florida. So before we go to Alabama. Next week, the 29th, we'll have our show again right before we leave, and then back again on the 5th. So, Anthony, you got anything you want to throw out there? You want to mention anything about what you got coming up next week?
Yeah, I just want to, first of all, just thank you guys for having me on the show. Like I said on
thank you.
Social medias, like you were desperately in need of a guest to ask me to come on here. But I appreciate coming on here and talking with you guys, and I'll do it anytime. So if you guys need a last resort guest, we can do it again.
No, that's cool. No, I mean, I'm always looking for guests, and it's always last resort because I've had people like, I don't know, when you start. This is a good quick question before we end the show too. For you, when you started out doing this and you were getting guests on, did you ever have trouble with people that would not, like, all of a sudden last minute they couldn't make it for whatever reason, and then they'd be on like the next week or whatever?
I book about a month and a half out, but
really?
Still, I had some guests that the day of or the day before just say, hey man, something came up, and I can't make it. And then what I would do either I would ask some guys that we all are friends with kind of the same people, so I just kind of ask another shooter, or I'll do what I've called in the past the all-star show, which is pretty much just me and the co-host.
Right on.
And that was it, and just do the show that way,
See, I thought about the whole thing about planning out in advance, but it's like you said, it's once in a while I get someone who drops out. So I just kind of usually will start putting feelers out maybe a couple weeks ahead of time, and then as it gets closer, see who I can get like a couple days before, or like maybe the day before. It's just I'm still learning the techniques and how to do this and be successful with it. But it's a lot of fun. It's basically, like I said, I don't run a real tight format with the show because I want it to be kind of open and we can kind of discuss whatever we want to talk about and just come up with a couple ideas here and there and just see where it grows from there. And it's easy to fill an hour of just talking. So.
Yeah, it is. When you're talking about guns, it goes really quick. But yeah, just try to book at least a month out. So if you had one cancel, you can kind of move somebody that you had booked on a couple weeks. Hey man, I had a guest cancel. Do you want to swing in for this Wednesday or whatever? And
Cool.
Usually, most of the time, they'll just say, yeah, man, because, it's from the comfort of their own home. If they're not at a match or they're not training or nothing, they usually can do it if they're at home.
That's one thing I like about doing shows like this, too. Like you said, that home thing where, people are like, oh, do I have to call? They don't know much about what we do exactly sometimes. And like, well, do I have to call in, or where do I have to go? What do I have to do? And I'm like, nope, just all you got to have is internet and a Google account or whatever and a webcam, and we can get you set up pretty easily. And they're like, oh, cool. And then this was really fun and neat. And I'm like, yeah, this is just a nice thing to be able to have to do. Like the technology is there, and you can meet with anybody all over the United States, for example, all over the world, really. We got Ryan from Arizona, and Mike's from South Carolina, and you from Florida, and I'm in Illinois. So we got people from all over that are able to connect to this and watch it, plus whoever's watching, live too. Anyway, I won't rant any more about that. So thank you again for being on with us, and we'll talk to you soon. And everyone else, until next time, have fun shooting.